Trevon Brazile, Arkansas forward. First things first, I just want to point out that he appears to be a pretty resilient young man. Suffered injuries and has been able to bounce back and be super productive. He sat out the first 8 games of his freshman season at the University of Missouri with an undisclosed medical condition. And then he transferred to Arkansas his sophomore season, and 9 games into the year he tore his ACL. And then in subsequent seasons he did suffer nicks and knacks, lower body injuries, and he was able to bounce back, be super productive. This past season averaged 13 points, 7.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.6 blocks, 1.5 steals in 32 minutes a game. So he was a real impact player, a threat when he was on the court for Arkansas. In terms of his NBA projection, I think the best case scenario for Brazile is as a floor spacing 5. Someone who you hope in time can shoot better than a 34% clip. He has a high release point and a quick release on the catch. And at 6'10", he could draw opposing bigs out, which would open up driving lanes for his guards. He could be a pick and pop threat. I think offensively, that's where he's shown he's most proficient. If it's not close to the rim, which we'll get into, it's going to be as someone who could stretch the floor, because there's not too much of an in-between game right now. There's, of course, more aspects to his game than just shooting, and we'll get into the rebounding and the passing and more. But defensively, perhaps his best overall quality and most translatable to the NBA day one is his help defense. He's really proven to be almost excellent help defender in terms of he's there on rotations. He alters shots at the rim. Great timing. He's able to ignite fast breaks with blocks, as he just did right here. And he's someone who kind of could be a rim protector from the help side for sure as a secondary defender. Now, that being said, his on-ball defense is a concern right now. Bigger players establish position against him, and smaller players can drive the ball against him by shielding him. I'm not sure if it's a strength issue where he has a thin frame, or guys turn the corner on him a lot, so it could be a flexibility issue. Maybe his hips are a little bit stiff. And we'll get into all of it. You can see here he gives up a complete empty side. So we'll dig into his shooting, all sides of his defense, rebounding, and more. So we're going to take a look at that help defense I was referring to. He's right here, number 7 in white. That was his man, but you see him roaming there over here in true help, coming from the weak side, can meet the ball at its highest point, and like I said, protect the rim. Anybody who's followed college basketball the last couple seasons, is aware of how athletic Trevon Brazile is. But, when I studied his film, I didn't realize how much effort he actually gives, and his timing on his blocks is something to be commended for sure, especially as a help defender. In just a second, we will look at his on-ball defense and how he needs to improve in that area. But before we do that, I want to show that he's not soft by any means. He competes here against Ruben Chinyelu, one of the strongest players in college basketball. Down 19 points, end of the first half. He's kind of giving it his all to not let Chinyelu get the position that he wants. Here he is as an on-ball defender. Guys were able to turn the corner on him pretty consistently. And then he had these plays as a post defender, which I didn't really understand. He would give up the whole side of the court that was wide open, and guys could easily just turn to and score. It happened more than once or twice this season. Spin moves particularly got him this year, which makes me think that he needs, maybe some more flexibility in his hips, or loosen him up a little bit. As you can see here, he kind of gives up the entire left side again. Now, he does block shots on the ball, so even 3-point shooters, he's able to get there and contest. But this is just him prematurely jumping. So there, jumping at pump fakes, an area of his game he needs to improve in as well. Mark Mitchell at Missouri, Voikititis at Texas. All different forms of players. Malik Dia, more of a jump shooter, but at the same time a physical player. Nate Ament using, more than one dribble to get where he wants to get to. I do also want to mention that on his pick and roll defense, I wasn't able to find too many clips of him playing pick and roll defense, whether in drop coverage or, if he would hedge or stunt or play up. So I had a small sample size there. Most of his defensive possessions that I was able to find were in help D or directly on the ball. He did average 1.5 steals per game. Active hands in multiple ways. He has active hands blocking shots at the rim. He has active hands getting steals and deflections and being aware. And he has active hands as a cutter and a finisher as well. Take a look at Brazile as a floor spacer, as a shooter. I like how confident he was as a shooter this year. Of course, he had a lot of experience in the college game. But for someone who at one point in his career looked to be very raw, for him to be able to put skill and range to his game is really good to see. This is a compilation of makes and misses. Like I said, 34% shooting from 3. Now, just real quick, most of Brazile's offensive game is coming from either the three-point line, which we see, or around the painted area, which would be dunks, putbacks, tip-ins, layups, running the dunker spot, alley-oops. But I don't have the split data available to me to know exactly, how many actual 2-point jump shots he took. Again, primarily it's close to the basket, above the rim, or at the three-point line right now. He shot 72% from the line on 3.3 attempts, so you'd want him to improve in this area as well. So he's not someone who has much of an in-between game right now, but shooting 70% on attempts at the rim that aren't dunks does point to him having some touch. Of course, at the NBA level, when he's going against world-class athletes, he's going to want to get a little bit stronger. So we just saw him try to take Kingston Flemings to the rim from the perimeter using his size advantage, and he didn't make the layup, but over here he does the same on Tyler Nickel, and he is able to get the bucket to fall. He has decent or good scoring instincts around the rim, especially if you give him a little bit of space. A little push shot, floater, can finish over length. A little bit awkward at times for sure, but he has, some more touch than you might first believe when you see how athletic he is. Now, there's not really any advanced moves or like back to the basket shimmies or shots over either shoulder. Again, it's more just quick decisions around the basket, trying to get the ball up, uses athleticism, shoot it with confidence, has some touch on it, and playing above the rim to be super active. So let's talk about Brazile's rebounding. 7.3 rebounds in about 32 minutes per game. He had 4 seasons where he finished in the top 20 in total rebounding percentage in the SEC. He is more of a finesse rebounder than enforcer type of rebounder, and by that I mean on defensive rebounds, for example, he's not necessarily trying to strongly corral the ball and then use his chin and his elbows to clear space. It's more, let me try to tip the ball to my teammate. Let me try to get it with my length and athleticism as opposed to any strength or physicality. And then offensive rebounds is more so in the form of follow tip-ins and putbacks. And if I get my hands on the ball, I'm trying to go right up for a shot right away. And the fact that he's trying to go up for a shot, like usually right away when he gets a rebound, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Of course, if he's going to do it in traffic, it could get a little bit problematic. But he does have a scorer's mentality close to the basket. So over here, he doesn't corral the rebound. The heads-up play, you can see that he knows, where his teammates are on the court. That leads to a fast break. Now his touch isn't all the way there if he has to finish with other defenders there through traffic on putbacks. But again, he's capable of it for sure. We're going to look at Brazile's passing real quick. Nothing too much really to look at either way. He's a competent, adequate passer. He's not a selfish player. I think the game has slowed down for him a good amount. That being said, he doesn't have necessarily a demonstrated history of setting up his teammates for shots. And, there's questionable passes from time to time like this one. But he makes the right play as well, as we can see. And if he's able to carve out space on a drive like right here, even though he's not a great straight line driver, he's able to, draw two and kick it to the big man down low. So his athleticism kind of shows in his passing as well. Small sample here, Brazile has a point guard on him, Tyler Tanner, but, he kicks it out for Knox for the three. And he's not going to handle the ball coast to coast, but a couple dribbles, he can get it out and go, and gives it to Acuff there on the break. So that's it for my evaluation of Brazile. You want him to continue improving his jump shot, get up from 34%. on threes so he can become a more reliable pick and pop threat. You'd also want him to develop a mid-range catch and shoot so he can be more effective on the short roll. You want him to continue physically filling out so he can finish through contact a little bit better. And then defensively, you'd want him to work on his on-ball defense. That's going to be a big point of emphasis for him trying to earn minutes at the next level. And with the right development plan in place, and looking forward to seeing him compete as we move forward towards the 2026 NBA draft and onward.